Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, so we got a call yesterday from a gal, and I apologize for the network just crashed towards the end of the program yesterday, and I had a bunch of calls had a bunch of folks holding on the line. So if you're listening and you were left on hold, tell our call screener and we'll get you first up. One of the gals who called was a lady whose husband was dealing with stage 4 lymphoma, and I thought this was so important that I really want to address this. Lymphoma is a blood cancer. The major risk factors for lymphoma are immune system issues, autoimmune disease. Lymphoma is a cancer of the immune system. Old age is associated with lymphomas. And lymphoma, like all cancer, like all disease really, is dis-ease. This is what we were talking about yesterday, and that's why I thought this call was so important. Dis-ease is dis-ease. The body's out of ease. Cancer is dis-ease. Cancer is the sign of a stressed-out system, a stressed-out body, specifically stressed-out cells. In the case of lymphoma, the stresses involve the white blood cells, the lymphocytes, hence the term lymphoma. It's a white blood cell cancer, a lymphocyte cancer, but it's a cell cancer. It's like all cancers. It's a sign of stressed-out cells. Cells that are starving, cells that are suffocated, cells that are toxic, and no matter what you hear periodically about this causing cancer and that causing cancer, this pesticide causes cancer, and this medicine or herb causes cancer, and this food causes cancer. We hear this all the time. But really, at the level of the cell, there's only 3 things that cause all diseases, including cancer. At the level of a cell, and because all disease is cell disease, this is really what sickness is about, including cancer. Cells that are starving, suffocated, and toxic, and then they become, or this body becomes inflamed. The body protects itself from these starved, suffocated, toxic cells by building a wall around them. That's called inflammation. And unfortunately, while that's protective in the short run, when it's chronic, it leads to more starvation, suffocation, toxification. And this is, at the core, responsible for every single disease that you can name in terms of chronic, long-term, progressive diseases. Cells that are suffocating, cells that are starving, and cells that are toxic. And this is so important because there's nothing there's nothing medicine can do here. There's nothing medicine can do to repair or correct a condition of starvation, suffocation, and toxification. It can only make things worse. This is why all they do is work with test scores and markers, because they're helpless at the level of a cell. They can't do anything at that level. But it doesn't matter, because we can. That's the good news. You know, I could sit here and rip on the medical model. That's not helpful, and it's not anybody's fault either. And I know how sometimes Dr. Wallach gets ticked off. I get ticked off too, because we're out there trying to help people, and it's like the medical model is throwing stumbling blocks in our way. So I know it's easy to get ticked off, but that doesn't help. The good news is the body can do it. The body can do it on its own. Now, as far as this gal goes with lymphoma, her husband had lymphoma. Typical signs of lymphoma, by the way, are enlargement of the lymph nodes. Sometimes you get some fatigue or shortness of breath or sweating, night sweats, fever, weight loss. Although oftentimes people who have lymphomas aren't going to have any symptoms at all until they're diagnosed, and they won't even know they have lymphoma until they get a diagnosis. About 80,000 people a year are diagnosed with lymphoma. There's 2 major types. They call them Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's. Non-Hodgkin's is by far and away the most frequent of the lymphomas. There's also another kind called multiple myeloma. That's somewhat rare. But in general, lymphomas are one of the more treatable cancers. They use radiation, they use chemotherapy. But from a reversal perspective, from a recovery perspective, it doesn't really matter what your lymphoma is, or whether it's Hodgkin's or multiple myeloma or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It doesn't really matter. There are differences, yes. Hodgkin's lymphoma is typically around the chest or the abdomen. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is more about the lymph. It's more about the lymph nodes. Actually, the other way around. It doesn't really matter. In terms of dealing with cancer, none of this stuff matters. In terms of dealing with cancer, what you got to understand is you got to calm the body down. This is the whole point. This is what we were talking about yesterday. You got to calm the body down. And there's so many ways to deal with lymphoma. We'll talk about this when we come back from a break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. Okay, So we're talking here about lymphoma specifically, but really all chronic degenerative diseases. There's some specifics with lymphoma, of course. It's a lymph cancer, lymphocyte cancer. Cancer of the white blood cells involves enlarged lymph nodes. But from a reversal perspective, from a health perspective, from a getting the patient stronger, better perspective, from making the patient happier perspective, it doesn't matter what kind of lymphoma you have. Yes, the doctors will tell you you need to know the type of lymphoma because the chemotherapy or the radiation, all the medical treatments depend on the specific category. But the body doesn't work that way. Diseases in the body are based on the generic nature of the body. There's a certain generic nature. We all have the same bodies. It's all made up of cells and stuff. We all have the same system. It's not like diseases need to be addressed specifically unless you're a specificist. We call those specialists. Specialists are the only ones who think that we have special diseases. In terms of cancer, in terms of all disease, but especially in terms of cancer, you calm the body down. That's the whole trick to this whole idea, is calm the body down. We talked to this gal yesterday, Lou. And actually, Lou's on the line here, it looks like. I'm going to pick Lou up here, I think. Do something a little out of the ordinary here. Lou, are you there? Hey, Lou.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi. Have you been listening?
I have been, definitely.
Is it helpful?
Very, very helpful. I just also wanted to get some details of how I...
Okay, I'm going to give you some stuff, Lou. I'm going to give you some stuff, so just listen in, because I didn't, I usually don't take calls, but I saw you were here, so I'm going to talk to you, so just listen up, okay?
Okay.
I'll give you a lot of ideas. Calming the body down is the key to dealing with any cancer. And this is an important point, and this is what I didn't get to make, the point I didn't get to make to you yesterday. Lou, your job is to help your husband feel better. Don't worry about curing the disease. Don't worry about the lymphoma. You got to make your husband strong, and you just want him to feel better. All right? And all the strategies I'm giving you are going to help him feel better. Yesterday I told you about hyperbaric oxygen, driving oxygen into the system with a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Many hospitals have those. I told you about intravenous nutrition, vitamin C, selenium, glutathione. These are all very important. There's something called the Myers cocktail, which is an intravenous blend of various nutrients, including the B complex. I'd be going intravenous nutrition. You definitely want to do all regular nutrition, but intravenous is very helpful because you don't have to worry about the digestive system, and oftentimes in lymphoma there's digestive system involvement, or in any cancer really. So I'd be going intravenous. And then I don't remember if I told you about fasting and caloric restriction. I got an article here from this is from late last year, from the British Medical Journal. British Medical Journal report on a lady who had follicular lymphoma, which is a type of lymphoma, common type of lymphoma. Bottom line here is they put her on a 21-day water-only fast, after which enlarged lymph nodes were substantially reduced in size. Continuing here, the patient then consumed a diet of minimally processed plant foods, free of sugar, oil, and salt. I don't know what that's about, the salt, but sugar and oil. And has remained on the diet since leaving the residential facility. At 9-month follow-up visits, she was asymptomatic. All right, that's fasting and a vegan diet. Then got another one here on caloric restriction. What I'm going to do with this other one. This one is caloric restriction and fasting delay the formation of tumors in mice. Now, there's lots of studies like this. Fasting and caloric restriction are two very, very advisable strategies for anyone dealing with cancer, and it should come as no surprise because it's good for everything. Calming the body down involves restricting calories. Calories are heat. So keeping the calories down calms everything down, and that helps the body conserve its resources for fighting cancer. I'm not saying fasting cures lymphoma. That's not my point here. What I'm trying to point out is the power of calming the body down, not just for dealing with lymphoma and cancer, but for all health issues, of which lymphoma and cancer are just examples. Does that all this make sense to you, Lou?
Yes, it does.
You want your husband to feel better, feel stronger. When he eats, have him eat bone soup, make homemade chicken soup, and also vegetable juices. In fact, that's what I'd be subsisting on. And maybe coconut oil. And your ultimate EFAs. You want to make sure you're getting your ultimate essential fatty acids as well. And I'm guaranteeing you, Lou, if you follow everything I just told you, guaranteeing your husband is going to feel better. Not because this is magic, because it's logic. See the distinction? Makes sense? Everything I say makes sense, Lou?
Makes sense, yes.
Okay, good. I hope I helped you.
Yeah.
All right. God bless you and good luck with everything. All right. The idea here, what we're talking about here is so important because it liberates us. It frees us from the medical model. Do we need drugs and surgeries? Okay, maybe. Perhaps. I'm not saying never. There's never a benefit to a surgical procedure or medication. But for the most part, our health is not a medical issue. Autoimmunity, degenerative disease where the body just deteriorates. Even cancer itself are not issues of the medical model. This is a study that just came out yesterday from the journal Frontiers in Neuroscience. All right? This is awesome. Dementia is now thought to be an immune system problem. University of Adelaide researchers have developed new theory for the causes of dementia and other neurodegenerative diseases. That's Parkinson's disease and Bell's palsy and multiple sclerosis, all neurodegenerative diseases. It's all basically the same thing. What is this new idea? This brilliant new concept? An out-of-control immune system. Somebody's been listening to The Bright Side, apparently, because we've been talking about this for years. All right, I'm Pharmacist Benny. Okay, so this is from the University of Adelaide. Researchers have found a new theory for the cause of dementia. What is it? An out-of-control immune system. Fancy that. This is from the journal Frontiers in Neuroscience. They call it autoinflammation. I love this term, autoinflammation. This is according to the article, strong evidence that autoinflammation, the body's condition where the body's own immune system develops a persistent inflammatory response and causes brain cells to die. Hello? We've been talking about this for years. Folks, don't wait for... if you're dealing with a degenerative disease or if you have a loved one dealing with Alzheimer's, you don't have to wait for some scientific study to prove common sense. This is common sense. You don't need a doctor to tell you this. Behind all degeneration is inflammation and immunity and defense and a hyped up body, a freaked out body. I love this article, though, because it's everything we've been talking about. Previously, researchers have focused on the role of protein deposits. This is what they tell you. This is the standard dogma. Protein deposits cause Alzheimer's. Some of you may have caught this a couple months ago, cover story of Time magazine, the Alzheimer's pill. This is how doctors, this is the latest treatment for Alzheimer's. This is the latest strategy. By the way, there's since 2000, there have been 244 drugs for Alzheimer's, 244 drugs approved for Alzheimer's. I'm sorry, 244 drugs tested for Alzheimer's. Only one was approved. One drug for Alzheimer's disease approved among 244 tested. What does that tell you? You can't treat it with drugs, although now they have a vaccine. This is the craziest thing. They want to vaccinate you against a degenerative disease, but they don't vaccinate you against the degeneration. They vaccinate you against the proteins that develop in response to the degeneration. You cannot treat Alzheimer's medically. It's a neurodegenerative disease. It's a degenerative process. The body's breaking down. It's not a medical issue. There are many, this is from the article, there are many distinct forms of neurodegeneration, including Alzheimer's disease, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's. Folks, they're the same thing. These conditions are distinguished by different types of brain nerve cells. And check this out. Quote, however, as all of these diseases progress, they become similar. Unquote. They're the same thing. Of course they become similar. Professor Richards believes that instead of many different mechanisms, each, quote, check this out, each disease has the same mechanism and common pathway for nerve cell loss. What am I saying here? I'm telling you, the body is protecting itself. It shows up as an inflammation, and that's where disease comes from. What that means is we got to figure out what the body's protecting itself from. That's the goal. What is the body trying to defend itself against? And almost always is going to involve food, the digestive system, and then later on it'll involve sugar. And that's it. And they're not medical issues, period. 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Let's go to Stephanie in California. What's up, Steph? How you doing? Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you great. How you doing today?
Great. I'm doing well. my issue has been polyps for quite
Okay.
some time. And I thought I had really, really bad allergies until I went and took an allergy test, and apparently I didn't have any allergies. And
Nasal polyps? Nasal polyps?
Nasal polyps, yes.
Okay. All right. So,
And
a polyp is a growth, right? Basically, that's the cells are just dividing like crazy. In a way, it's a lot like cancer. Cells dividing out of control. It's not quite as out of control as cancer, but it's still a dysregulation of cell growth. All right? This is a very common, fundamental way that the body breaks down. The cells lose their ability to control how they grow. All right? And that's polyps, and that's cysts, and that's fibroids. These are just the same basic idea. Cells dividing out in and out of, and cancer. Cells dividing in an out of control fashion. Okay? So when cells divide in an out of control fashion, it usually involves the outside part of the cell. The outside part of the cell is called the cell membrane. And the cell membrane is based in fats. So whenever you have polyps or you have cysts or you have fibroids, the first thing to focus on is how the body is dealing with fats, whether it's not getting enough fats or whether it's not processing them correctly. It's very common in women, by the way, and this is why women deal with this condition with polyps and cysts and growths much more than men. It involves fats, and it involves the steroid hormones, specifically estrogen. So the first thing to do when these kinds of growths appear, whether they're in the colon or whether they're in the reproductive system or whether in the nose, wherever they are, all right, you want to work on the fatty part, how the body's processing fats. That means fatty vitamins for one, and essential fatty acids. Okay, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E. To a certain extent, vitamin K, that's always a good idea, as well as your EFAs. 20,000 IU of vitamin A, 400 IU of vitamin E. Get the sun. Sun's the best way to get your vitamin D. If you're going to do it in a supplement, around 5,000 IU of vitamin D3, and then 5,000 or so micrograms of vitamin K2. 1,000 to 5,000 micrograms. Make sure you're using your ultimate EFAs. You also got to be processing fats correctly, and that means probiotics. Okay. Now you notice I'm not saying anything about the nose here. You notice this, Stephanie? We're talking about this, right? We're talking about the system here. So it's not a nasal problem. It's a polyp problem. It's a tissue problem, not a nasal problem. And that's the most important thing to understand. Then you want to work on how your body processes fats. Now, I'm guessing that you had an issue that way, either an issue with your menstrual cycle or an issue with gallbladder or an issue with how your body is, how you feel after you eat fats. Any of this sound familiar to you?
Yeah, and I've always been, I feel underweight.
Okay.
And that I'm not getting enough. But I think I eat healthy.
It could have something to do with how you're absorbing fats. You know, the fats are involved with how you grow. Do you notice that you have digestive issues after certain foods? They have to be there. You may not notice them, but they have to be there. Are there certain foods that cause you problems? Okay, yeah. So then you probably have an absorption issue. So this is why we're working on the digestive system here. Get on probiotics, the good bacteria. Make sure you heard that term. The Ultimate Nightly Essence, it's now being called, from Longevity. 9 capsules a day. Fermented foods would help you to do an elimination diet where you fast for a couple of days, and then as you start to add in food, you pay attention to how you're responding to that food, and then you eliminate foods that cause problems. That's called the elimination diet. And writing everything down in a food diary helps. The reason you want to fast before you do your elimination diet is because you'll resensitize yourself. You'll start to notice things you wouldn't have noticed otherwise. So doing a fast can help. Also, make sure you're using digestive enzymes with all your meals, and then also substances that help your body process fats. The digestive enzymes will help, but also lecithin, bile salts, B-I-L-E, bile salts, the amino acid taurine, that can be helpful for helping the body process fats. Got a few more things to say, so hang on, Stephanie, okay?
Okay.
I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We will be back right after this. Don't go away. We're talking to Stephanie in California. Stephanie, you there?
Yeah.
All right. So you got some nasal polyps. They're not a nasal condition. They're a polyp condition. They're a sign that cells are not growing as they should be growing. And that means you've got, typically when that occurs, you've got an outer part of the cell issue. That's called the cell membrane. The cell membrane is fatty. Cells talk to each other at the membrane level. So whenever you have cells dividing out of control, first thing to focus on is the cell membrane, which means fats. And that means in terms of supplements, vitamin A, D, E, K, making sure you're getting out in the sun, making sure you're using your essential fatty acids, your ultimate EFAs from longevity, 9 capsules a day, and then helping your body process fats using digestive enzymes, lecithin, bile salts. You know what all these are? Lecithin. You get all this at the health food store. Lecithin, bile, B-I-L-E, bile salts, helping the body make bile, making sure you're taking care of your liver is very important for all polyp and cyst issues, all growth issues. Gallbladder as well is involved. Gallbladder health is involved too. I'd be doing an elimination diet. Oftentimes, the gallbladder and the liver, for that matter, can be negatively affected by eating the wrong kinds of foods. So the elimination diet can be helpful, especially if you know you have a history of food problems. Always fast before you do the elimination diet, or do a Swero-V cleanse before you do the elimination diet. And then when you start eating again, the way you do the elimination diet is you focus on your favorite foods first, which is great because you get to eat your favorite foods, but not great because you find out typically for most people your favorite foods were a problem. Make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. When you start eating again, in addition to the elimination diet, focus on easy to process foods, soups and juices. Now you do need fiber, so make sure you're using a Vitamix to get your veggies. And then coconut oil can be helpful as a source of fat. Use coconut oil and butter to cook with. I would be staying away from processed fats for sure. I'd be staying away from all processed foods. And then, of course, you want to be on the Mighty 90 essential nutrients, including, I would throw in also the Fucoid Z, which has some really interesting blood purifying properties made with fucoidin, and it's relatively inexpensive. 9 capsules of the Fucoid Z a day. All right, does that help you, Stephanie? I got to move on here, my dear.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, have a great day. Good to talk to you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right, let's go to Dave in Connecticut. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the bright side.
How are you today?
Doing good. How are you, Dave?
Good. I did have a question about rosacea, but I think I'm going to switch gears because there's somebody that's more in need than I am.
Oh, how kind of you. Well, you know what? Because you're being so nice, we'll help both of you. How's that? In one fell swoop.
That's great.
Okay. What's your friend?
My cousin, actually, he's 42 years old and was just told that he needs a knee replacement.
Okay.
And, his one of his knees is shot. And aside from getting the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, what do you recommend?
Lots of things.
He should do?
Lots of things. First of all, was he an athlete? How does he need a knee replacement at the age of 42? Is he overweight?
He's a plumber.
Is he an athlete?
He's a little bit heavy. He's not, but he's been an athlete his whole life, and then he's a plumber as well. So he's constantly on his knees working. So
well, he may or may not need a knee replacement. I don't know because I'm not there, but I will tell you that knee replacement surgery is a business, and knee replacement facilities are factories, where they move them in and move them out, and they make $50,000 a knee or some ridiculous amount of money a knee. There's a huge financial incentive to do knee replacements. I'm not saying he doesn't need it because I don't know, but I just want you to keep that in mind, okay? Or have your cousin keep it in mind. Second thing is that when you're dealing with a knee replacement surgery, there's a lot of things you could do to not only mitigate the inflammation and the assault on the body, because it is an assault on the body, as all surgical procedures are, but also to speed the healing. So you should be doing lots of things nutritionally. For one thing, he should start doing digestive enzymes before and after surgery. And this is real important for anybody who's dealing with a surgical procedure. Pre-surgery and post-surgery, using the ultimate enzymes can reduce the inflammation that's associated with the surgical procedure and help the body recover faster. Okay?
Right.
So that's the first thing to do.
Avoid surgery altogether.
Oh, that's good.
He doesn't want the surgery.
Then do the ultimate enzymes as an anti-inflammatory. Then still do them. Okay? Make sure he's doing lots of vitamin C. Vitamin C is the key that turns on the machinery, the ignition for the connective tissue building system in the body. Vitamin C is the key to it. And by key, I mean literally like a key. It turns it on. Without vitamin C, that you can't build connective tissue. So make sure he's doing enough vitamin C. You'll get that in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and that's part of your bone and joint pack. Glucosamine,
of course. Any extra C besides that?
I would take an extra 1,000 or
something like that.
I would take ascorbic acid, 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams extra a day. Internally, ascorbic acid is great. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said okay. Yep.
Okay, good. All right. Then a couple other things that are very important in addition to the glucosamine is cartilage from bones, chicken soup, bone soup. Make sure he's doing lots of that. I would also be making sure he's getting enough protein, whey protein. The chicken soup will also get him protein, but also whey protein. I would also be using about 400 milligrams a day of alpha lipoic acid in combination with 400 IU of vitamin E, or even 800 IU of vitamin E a day. Both of those work together as anti-inflammatories. And then also, in addition to everything he's going to get from the Healthy Start Pack, it'd probably be a good idea for him to get a little bit extra zinc, 50 milligrams a day of zinc picolinate, and vitamin A, 20,000 IU a day of vitamin A. Let's see if anything else I can come up with here. The Ultimate EFA is stupendously important. The strategy here is twofold: anti-inflammation and building. The Ultimate EFAs can help with both of those. They're anti-inflammatory, and they can also stimulate the building of connective tissue. And then making sure, 100% sure, nothing gets into the system, by that I mean the blood, that will amplify the inflammatory response. That means sugar and digestive toxicity. I mean, anything that messes up his digestive system should be avoided. And sugar is the devil when it comes to inflammation and when it comes to things like joint problems, whether you're talking knees or elbows or any joint issue, and whether you're talking arthritis or knee replacement surgery or anything else. Sugar and digestive toxins, things that cause digestive distress, need to be zero tolerance ideally, but as little of those kinds of foods as he can get away with. Now, as far as rosacea goes, is that all right? Did that help you with your cousin?
Yeah, no, that's tremendous. That's
good.
Great, thank you.
Oh, okay, good deal. Now, as far as your rosacea goes, here's the most important thing about rosacea. And I've been in the skin business for a long time. So
yeah.
The thing about rosacea is it makes me angry when I hear dermatologists and people on the internet and estheticians and people who should know better talking about rosacea as if it were a skin condition. It is not a skin condition. Okay? It can be associated sometimes with oily skin, but it is not a skin condition. It's a blood condition. Does it make sense? You follow me so far?
Yeah.
Is it for you, Dave?
Yes, for me, yes.
Okay. It's a sign that something's getting into the blood and the body is reacting. And you know good and well, Dave, that there are certain foods that will make it worse, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Anybody with rosacea can tell you that. There's certain things you ingest that will make it worse. That's all you need to know that it's a blood condition. So what you got to do is you got to work on the digestive system. There's a bacteria called H. pylori that is involved, and that is H. pylori is a bacteria that we have, but it overgrows, and it overgrows in the digestive system under certain conditions, specifically when we're not making enough stomach acid. So acidifying your digestive system and working with the digestive system is the key to dealing with rosacea. Elimination diet, like we've been talking about, where you keep track of all your foods and then eliminate the ones that cause problems. Acidifying the digestive contents with apple cider vinegar or with aloe juice with your meals can help, or something called betaine HCl, B-E-T-A-I-N-E, betaine HCl, which you'll get in the Ultimate Enzymes. Using the Ultimate Enzymes, for that matter, can also help you. You can, if you want, you can go to the pharmacist and go to the doctor and then get a prescription and take it to a compounding pharmacist for something called HCl drops, which is literally hydrochloric acid drops, and you do a couple of those with your meals. You can use stomach bitters before your meals to help stimulate digestive juices. In addition to the Ultimate Enzymes and the bile salts, in addition to the Ultimate Enzymes, you can take extra bile salts, and then you can also take lecithin and other digestive support supplements. Taurine can be helpful. Anything you do to support digestive health, that's how you want to look at rosacea. Now, if you have oily skin associated with it, you may want to use some topical vitamin B5. You can make your own topical vitamin B5 drying product with a little zinc oxide. All you got to do is get some zinc oxide and some vitamin B5 capsules and put it in your favorite moisturizer. Moisturizing cream, and kind of spread it on the skin. You don't want anything too heavy, obviously, because you already have oily skin, but the zinc oxide will sop up extra oils. And vitamin B5 plays a really interesting role in the fat production machinery, if you will. And by the way, that's another good supplement to deal with if you're interested in helping the body process and utilize fats. Dave, I got to motivate. I hope I helped you, buddy. Thanks for your call.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your call. All right, take care. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Tomorrow we'll continue talking about the whole idea of calming the body down. We'll talk more. We'll start to get into some of the steroid hormones, particularly DHEA, the body's most abundant steroid hormone. Thanks for listening, friends. Check out my website, truthtreatments.com, and our Truth Skin Health products, and we'll talk to y'all later. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome day. Bye for now.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
When fresh liquid whey is processed into a dry powder, the special proteins that make up the whey lose their original shapes. They fold in on themselves and lose their functional value. One World Whey undergoes a technological enhancement that we believe restores these potent proteins back to their original shapes the body can use.
I chose to try One World Whey first before going to a doctor who would likely only prescribe drugs. To my delight, it worked. After stabbing pain for years, to have it completely gone is a miracle. I'd like to also stress that for me, it took several months of taking One World Whey before I had improvement, and then an entire year for my gut to feel 100% healed. So now I tell my friends, give your body time to make use of the healing power of One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld, WHEY.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on health care by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about health care. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join the Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a SelectQuote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
My name is Don Wiskin. In 1994, I lost my 62-year-old father to complications of bypass surgery. In 1977, my 44-year-old brother was found dead in his apartment. He suffered a heart attack. In January of 98, my mother had a stroke and passed away in her bed. 21 days later, my 53-year-old brother passed away on his arrival to the hospital. He waited too long. In June that same year, I almost joined them at 42. What did I do? I took a 7-herb formula I now call Extendivite, made from garlic, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, hawthorn, milk thistle, and valerian. Based on German studies of natural medicine, Extendivite is designed to clear blocked arteries, clean the toxins from your blood, and improve your immune system. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Suffering from illness or disease? Frequently in pain? Overstressed? Always tired? The solution is to oxygenate your cells because disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
We all have heard about the benefits of fish oils, but what about the presence of heavy metals, PCBs, dioxins, furans, and other contaminants found in fatty tissues of fish? GCNteam.com recognizes this risk and offers IFOS certified tested omega-3 fatty acids. EPA, DHA insist on IFOS omega-3 fatty acid certification. Get the best at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203.
Do you or someone you know suffer from chest pain, blood pressure, cholesterol, or irregular heartbeat? Are you looking for a more natural solution to overcome these health challenges? You hear the ads all the time. If this stuff's so good, why doesn't my doctor prescribe it? That's easy. There's more money in treating symptoms. Extendivite Heart Tonic does want you to be as healthy as you can be, and it really works. Take Extendivite for 6 months and your doctor will say, I don't know what you're doing, but don't stop. It's working for you. Get the dependability of Extendivite. Just see how you feel in 6 months. A 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid is only $69.95 plus shipping and handling. Call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Would you like to receive $250 to $1,000 cash per day? Go to richmoneyrich.com. No website, no selling, no explaining. Just take these simple 2 steps and go to richmoneyrich.com. You can be generating cash in the next 24 hours simply using this system. Good news is, it runs on 100% autopilot, and you don't need any experience to get started. It's easy. Get your share of easy riches and go to richmoneyrich.com. That's richmoneyrich.com. Go now. Brought to you by the Conservative Investor. Current returns not indicative of future results.
All right, listen up, because this is the most important thing you're going to hear all day. What if I said you could make money flipping houses without any cash, credit, or manual labor? And what if I said you could do it part-time from the comfort of your home? Sound unflippin' believable? Hi, I'm Preston Ely, and I'm going to prove it by sending you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It sells online for $19.95, but I'm giving away free copies this week. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-959-9582. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity shut off 9 times, but I figured out a simple way to make money flipping houses without even breaking a sweat. Now I'm living the good life, and so should you. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. Hands down, it's the fastest, easiest way to get started in real estate. Let me prove it. Call right now to find out how to get your free book. When they're gone, they're gone. Call 1-800-959-9582. 1-800-959-9582.
Suffering from illness or disease? Frequently in pain? Overstressed? Always tired? The solution is to oxygenate your cells because disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.